Hello and welcome back to Open Everyone. With Election Day less than 2 weeks away, the race to become president is one of the most intense in American history right now. But how can the Latino voters factor into this and swing the election in favor of one of the candidates? And so a panel will be held on November 1st at Lehman College to inform Bronxites on the most important issues and, of course, reminding everyone just how important and how much your vote matters. Your vote, that's right. So here now to share more is the Associate Professor and Chair of a Latin American, Latino, and Puerto Rican Department at Lehman College, David Badillo. Hello and welcome, and thank you for being here with us.
Thanks for having me. Delighted to be here.
And so let's just start with, without going too into detail of, I guess, the the carnival that's been occurring in this reality election series. What is it that you think is happening from a strategic standpoint into confusing people's thoughts?
Well, we're having a conference next week to try and sort things out. We're trying to get away from the blood sport and the election fatigue and stress by offering the Latino aspect. So we have speakers, two presenters going to focus on the swing states and the impact of the Latino vote, and in places like, then we have a panel, they're going to look at things like Florida, where the Puerto Ricans have been coming in huge numbers, and there's the Cuban vote, and that's a very important state. And
right, because Florida is considered a swing state.
It is, it is. Most of the swing states have large Latino populations, so we're going to be kind of examining that, and some of the presenters are going to look at specific things like the role of women and the Dominican impact, because it's important here in New York City, but also in many other states.
So let's just remind our viewers how important the Latino vote is, like just in general throughout the United States, and how important it is for everyone to vote. Because I just feel that there's been a lot of strategy put out there for people to just not even want to bother. I mean, I feel that way. I mean, obviously that's not what's going to happen. I am going to put in my vote. However, it's just been so discouraging that I wonder, you know, and I pray that the right person is elected.
It's been a very unusual election, and both of the candidates are from New York, but the election is going to be decided nationally. So we're going to be looking at the various ingredients, the historical, demographic background, and specific groups, and hopefully get people interested in it, because everybody has their own angle, and there are a lot of issues that are going to come to the fore about immigration, about the economy, and it's not just a single issue election. Plus, we don't know what the outcome is. Even now, there's maybe a 4-point difference, so things are changing. By Tuesday, it may even be closer. So yes, it's very exciting, and it's important that everybody gets informed so that they can participate.
So how are people being kept informed about what is really important? Because I think that the important issues are kind of being pushed to the side, and everything, there's a smoke screen going on. How are people, let's say, for someone who's not necessarily informed when it comes to voting?
Oh, not everybody's an expert, and there's so much information out there, I think people just shut down. And a lot of it is geared towards sensationalism, and it's hard to be an informed voter. Yes, not everybody is an expert, but that's why our experts are going to try and sort things out and get people to focus on what's important to them.
So let's name some of the experts that are going to be part of this panel and exactly what they're going to be discussing so that our viewers understand.
Okay, well, they may not be household names, but they're important in this area. Professor Laird Brigade is an expert on the demographics of Latino and their electorate, and he's going to be talking about the swing states. Dr. Adrian Pantoja is coming in from Pitzer College in California, and he's going to look at the impact and for the future of this election, what it might change and how things are so important right now. Then we have panels. Carlos Vargas Ramos is going to talk about the Puerto Rican vote in Florida. Zenaida Mendez is going to talk about women and the Dominican vote. This is very important for Dominicans too, because locally they're going to have their first congressperson, and that's going to have national impact. And And then we have, the audience participation. We have Jose Calderon, who's the president of the Hispanic Federation, and he's operating on the grassroots level, and he's going to talk about how Latinos network. So people get information from all different ways, from TV, from Spanish language media. That's very important, but we just want to open things up as much as possible.
Right, to the community so that there's a dialogue going on a more intimate level.
Oh, yeah, we want to hear from people too, sure.
Right, and so what time and exactly, how do people need to make reservations? Is there RSVP required?
No, we're going to have the entire event Tuesday afternoon, November 1st from 2 to 4:30. It's going to be at the East Dining Hall of the Music Building, which if you know Lehman College, it's right opposite the Performing Arts Center. And people can just show up there. We do have some notices on the website, and we have circulation all over, but it's open to the public and it's free. It's a community event. So it's Tuesday from 2 to 4:30 in Lehman College at the East Dining Hall.
And so being a professor here at Lehman, what do you see, I guess, being the most crucial point in being made to the Latino community?
Well, I think the Latino community has been ignored, and a lot of issues have been ignored. This has been just a wild, unprecedented election, and it seems to be going down to the wire in many of the swing states. Some are going up, some are going down. Places like Georgia may be in play, which have a very large population of Latinos that's come in and changed their orientation. Immigration is very crucial. Maybe it'll be changed. Maybe there'll be immigration reform. We haven't really had it. There have been some temporary measures, but for many immigrants, that's the key issue, is how to get something permanent that will give people some kind of entree into society.
I like that. I like that, entree into society, and just be society, right? Be part of it. Now, here's my last question. For anyone who may not be able to attend, what would you say are the most crucial points for them to pay attention to in deciding their vote?
Well, people tend to vote their pocketbook, so there are a lot of issues, and the candidates don't always address them. All kinds of economic issues, and people need to decide what's important for them, whether it's health care, immigration. A lot of the local issues have national significance too, so people have to evaluate not only the presidential elections, but all the stuff that's happening in their communities and in the governorships, the mayoralty. It's all one big package, and to try and get people to respond to what their needs are.
Right. You know, I think there's this misconception that one is going to be able to get us out of this financial rut that we've been in, and that seems to be the selling tool. And so for those who are not informed, how do they gauge that?
Everybody has to make those decisions. Imagine the Puerto Ricans coming to Florida where they hadn't been able to vote for president, and now once they establish residency, they're part of the picture. So people like that may be looking at their homeland, about people who are suffering in Puerto Rico. Other people may be concerned with getting communities in order. So it really varies.
Right. Thank you. Do you have any last words before we go? I'm
No,
taking in
just
everything you're saying, and I'm hoping everyone's taking notes and considering going to this this actual event for the presidential election.
We're delighted that just to spread the word about this, and just for everyone to become more involved and not get distracted. As you mentioned, there are all kinds of self-interests out there, and politicians will be politicians, but as citizens we have to kind of separate from that and get our own perspectives.
Right, and not get so caught up in the sensationalization of the whole process. Right?
That's where we're trying to do, yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank
Thanks.
you, Professor David.
Thank you.
Padillo. Once again, Latinos National Politics and the 2016 presidential election panel will be taking place on Tuesday, November 1st from 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the East Dining Room in the Music Building at Lehman College. And for more information, you can email david.badillo@lehman.cuny.edu. All right, we are taking a quick break, but don't go anywhere. There's more open after this.